Did you know that more than half of marriages collapse during a major financial crisis? Mine was no exception. My wife left me when I lost my job, convinced I was finished. But what she didn't know was that her choice would become the biggest regret of her life. This is my story. My name's Robert. At 43, I thought I had it all. A six-figure job, a beautiful house in the suburbs, and a marriage people envied. Sarah and I met in college. We were inseparable, two ambitious dreamers who promised to take on the world together. We married young, and for years it felt like the right choice. Friends called us the golden couple. We traveled every year, Italy, Paris, the Caribbean. We hosted extravagant parties, dined at the finest restaurants, and built a home filled with laughter and luxury. Sarah was stunning, the kind of woman everyone noticed, with a sharp wit and charm that won over anyone she met. I thought she was my forever. But behind closed doors, keeping up that life was exhausting. I worked long hours, skipped vacations, and hid the stress just to keep her happy. I thought love meant sacrifice, and I believed she'd always be there for me. But I was wrong. The cracks started small. Sarah began staying late at work more often, claiming it was just meetings and deadlines. Sometimes she came home well past midnight, saying she was too tired to talk. Her phone, which she once left lying around freely, was now clutched close to her or face down on the table. At first, I ignored it, telling myself she was just busy. But then there were text messages from a man named Jake. They were subtle, inside jokes, late-night emojis, little comments about how he understood her. When I confronted her about them, she brushed it off, saying they were harmless. But then came the irritability. The way she snapped at me over small things, the growing silence between us at dinner. One night, she slipped up and called me by another name. I laughed it off at the time, but deep down, I felt the shift. Still, I held on to hope. Then the pandemic hit. Companies slashed budgets, and I lost my job overnight. For weeks, I scrambled to keep our finances afloat, selling stocks and cutting expenses. I expected Sarah to be my rock, but instead, she became colder. I decided to surprise her at work one afternoon with her favorite lunch, thinking it might cheer us both up. As I pulled into her office parking lot, I saw her sitting at a cafe with Jake, their hands intertwined, his thumb caressing her palm as she smiled. My stomach churned. I didn't confront her then, I just drove home in silence. That evening, while she showered, I opened her laptop. My hands shook as I read email after email, declarations of love, plans to run away together, comments about how I wouldn't notice until it was too late. There were even photos, of them on a weekend trip, the same weekend she claimed she was visiting her sister. When she came out of the bathroom, I confronted her. At first she denied it, then claimed it was my fault for being too focused on work. Then she said she needed someone who could make her feel alive again. Her words cut deeper than the betrayal itself. For weeks, I barely ate or slept. I felt humiliated, worthless, like my entire identity had been ripped away. I kept replaying everything in my head, every late night, every strange look, every excuse. Friends tried to console me, but nothing helped. I stopped answering calls. I'd sit alone in the dark, wondering how I could have been so blind. But slowly, through the anger and despair, I found clarity. I realized her actions spoke more about her than me. I decided to stop asking why and start focusing on myself. I hit the gym, called old friends, and started rebuilding my confidence. Each day hurt a little less, and each morning felt a little brighter. Still, I knew the hardest part was yet to come. The divorce was quick but brutal. Sarah moved in with Jake immediately, flaunting their relationship on social media as if nothing happened. I let her go without a fight, I just wanted peace. But karma has its way. Within months, Jake lost his job too. Turns out he was drowning in debt, and Sarah had left me only to find herself with someone who couldn't even pay his own rent. Their relationship crumbled under the weight of their own choices. Meanwhile, I downsized, moved into a modest apartment, and started freelancing. I threw myself into work, and within a year, I'd built a successful consulting business. I traveled more, spent time with people who truly cared, and rediscovered passions I'd buried under years of stress. Then, out of nowhere, Sarah called. She wanted to talk, saying she missed me and made a mistake. Her voice was full of regret. But I was done. I'd moved on, and I told her so. The look on her face when I said it, was the closure I didn't know I needed. Looking back, that chapter of my life taught me more than any book or seminar ever could. I learned that trust is fragile, and ignoring red flags only delays the inevitable. I learned that love built on conditions isn't love at all. And most of all, I learned that self-worth isn't tied to a job, a house, or a partner, it comes from within. If you're in a relationship where you feel unseen, unappreciated, or unloved, pay attention. You deserve better. Don't cling to someone who only stays for the good times. Build yourself so strong that no one can take away your peace. That's why I'm sharing this story, so you don't make the same mistakes I did. If my story struck a chord with you, please hit the like button and subscribe for more true stories like this. Share your own experience in the comments below, I'd love to hear from you. Together, we can grow stronger and wiser.